Recording.
All right. Hello again, everybody, and I'm going to do my DRZ 470 big bore stroker review here. I'm going to put my visor down here real quick. I wanted to talk to you about my bike, and yes, it's got a little bit of rub on the front wheel from the previous owner, but what I wanted to talk about is what I feel about this build, this engine, and is it worth it? Was it worth it? Of course, I've told you I've got this as a donor engine in videos past, but I've just got the simple 470 eBay kit that a reputable seller puts together, and it's really the Hot Rod's complete kit for that build. Now, that's not the long stroker rod, it's a stroker crank on this, but this is a 470, and I wanted to talk to you about why I did this and what all I'm equipped with first. You might see my other video on here where I put together basically my Instagram uploads together and made a compilation video of that experience, and that was not this bike. This was my buddy Nathaniel's bike, was the first one, and then I liked it so much I got a donor engine for my bike at 6,000 miles on it. I took the engine out of it and put the built engine, and so I still have the stock engine. But anyway, that's his bike build that I did. So what's my bike equipped with? Okay, number one, other than the kit, I've got stage 2 hot cams. I have a power bomb header, and I have a Two Brothers slip-on. That Two Brothers slip-on is kind of special because they only make them for the factory. Somebody driving over here by me. They're only made for the factory header, which really sucks. But thankfully, you can use an exhaust pipe expander and get it to the size in which that restriction is reduced. And I was able to make it work. And so it was kind of something unique. You don't see a whole lot of that. Obviously, I added kickstart, which I had on my factory engine. I've got the Fcr 39 carburetor on it, and I've got the normal vacuum petcock on here, but I might get away from that. I've done the 3x3 mod, of course, and I've got the free power mod on this. Not long after I got this bike, I had a really uneasy feeling in it, and it turned out to be these spokes on the front and rear. I had some vibrations and some just all sorts of weird stuff going on. It took me a little bit of investigating. It had those spoke wraps on it, and I don't know if they loosened up or just over time it loosened the spokes, and so I had to retrue them. And that was a real bummer. But ultimately, I don't have a whole lot of other mods. I put a little headlight bulb, an LED headlight bulb. I put a little bit of this eBay bling on it. And I don't know if you can see it, but I've got a temperature gauge. It's only in metric, though, but it gets me the information I needed to know. So I'm going to kind of blab about it right now. Overall impressions is this is absolutely worth it. You know, it takes a lot of extra effort to make something like this happen, but to see the amount of power that you get out of it, and if I was a wheelie king or anybody that had any skill at all, you know, it'd just be crazy. This is stock geared, by the way, but what I can say is first and second gear, just rolling in the throttle, I can very easily, get a power wheelie out of this. It's not asking it. You just roll into it and it power wheelies. I'm not going to do that so much, but part of that is the Fcr throttle response from stock. Let's see. So that's just rolling into the throttle. That's all that is. And that's a Fcr MX. And I'm currently jetted, and it's a little rich in these warmer temperatures, but I'm kind of okay with that. But I got a 40 pilot jet and a 170 main jet, and it ended up working the same for Nathaniel's bike as well. Now, I read the plug after doing a pull and all that, and it also has to do with how well you're starting and idling. That's a Casino Motorsport Park. That's the only real curves or anything you're going to get out of Kansas. One of the things that I think they usually equip these things with a 160 main jet and a 45 pilot jet, which some weird things happen when you increase the displacement on anything. Or when you put cams on something, or when you do anything to improve your airflow and performance. That's what an engine is a big air pump. So your fuel, other than giving you your power, you're also cooling the engine with it, which that kind of sounds dumb. By the way, this time of year is wheat harvest. You see that field has been harvested. Hopefully we'll see some combines out here working. There was some down the road from me, which was really cool. A lot of the farmers get excited. But back to the bike. I don't have any trouble. It's really turbulent. It's windy out here right now. I'm in a crosswind. But I don't have any problem. By the speedometer here, we're going, 63. Hopefully I don't get pulled over or anything. Just like that, there's 80. So there's a big mid-range improvement. There's a low-end improvement. It wraps out pretty good. I don't want to sit here and just destroy it. This kit that I got has the CP pistons in there, and there's a very defined cylinder ring gap that they call for. The piston doesn't come gap for that cylinder, so I had to remove a lot of material on both mine and Nathaniel's. Just to make sure it's properly ring gap. It's just what you have to do. You don't just throw them in there, and you don't listen to the dumb jetting that a lot of people say, oh, this is the jetting that you have to do. There's no plug and play jetting for these. A lot of the information that I read was about, they were too small of jets, and it doesn't surprise me when people follow that information. They end up burning up their engines. And also, you don't try to go and feel your power off of your engine right away. You break it in smart. you end up with a greater amount of ring wear if you just go and just start sending it right out of the gate. You seat those rings and they slowly expand to the point where they're worn in. Then you can start feeling the power. This kit was going into an engine that had 3,000 miles on it. I didn't replace the transmission bearings or any other bearings. I replaced the crankshaft bearings. They come with the kit. That wind sucks. Just taking a glance at my radiator temperature gauge, and it's still in the green, so that means it's 150, 165 degrees, something like that. I could probably stand to do an adjustment on my needle on this. Oh, I got a bug that flew up underneath because it's a little clunky, but I've got good response out of it, so I'm not messing with it right now, but I might experiment with that later on. Got to do a little wheelie over the railroad tracks, and that's third gear, and yeah, I asked it a little bit, but again, I'm not a good wheelie person. I'll just do some pow-pows every once in a while. So try doing that easily with a stock DRZ, or even one of them that has cams and all that. Oh, speaking of cams and head work and stuff, I didn't really do any head work to this. I didn't upgrade the valve train. I did remove the casting marks in it, and I wouldn't even really call it a port job, but I just did a little bit of a cleanup. We'll just say a cleanup on the head, and I shaved it just a little bit to get the cylinder head gasket marks out of it. And you might refer to my build video as to what that means, but you have the cylinder head gasket that's made for the stock displacement or diameter of bore. Well, this is a bigger bore, so I wanted to get that milled out, which I did. I didn't play any games with using different gaskets, trying to get a little bit higher compression. That's just some things that affect your reliability. Hello. So that's kind of the whole thing. Is I wanted to have a little bit stronger build. I want to have a nice strong build, but also something that I leave some meat on the bone. I'm not running race fuel. I wanted to have something that just has some power, decent punch, and something that's streetable and reliable. And I think I've accomplished that with this build. So that's kind of the story of it. So I've got I'm running. I'm not really even trying to be crazy with what I've got. I run Rotella T4 in this. So, I will say this, to add to that list, I am running the 150 on the rear Dunlop Q3 Plus. That's what I run on my track bikes, and it's just what I'm comfortable with. And just a stock size front on there. But, I just cleaned my chain, and I'm feeling pretty good about that. It's looking great. But yeah, I've taken it to the go-kart track, and it feels great. I love it. So see what you think about this. Share this video and subscribe. I want to do some more DRZ content in the future. And if you ask any questions or anything, I'll try to answer that in future videos. Well, thanks for watching.